Welcome to another episode of The Good and the Bad. Like we always do in this series, what we are going to do is to pick a device. Today we are checking out the Samsung Galaxy A54 and I'm going to share with you 5 of my favorite features of this device and 5 of my not so favorite features of this device. Some of these not so favorite features might not be deal breakers. Sometimes we have to actually struggle to find some of the features that are not so good, so you know everything about the device if you decide to pick it up. So without taking much of your time, let's get it. As usual, I'm starting with my favorite features. The first one is definitely going to be the design. The design of the Samsung Galaxy A54 is one of my favorite. It looks good, it's simple, but still feels very premium. Samsung decided to put a glass back at the back and makes it look and feel very, very cool. The colors that they had for this year's versions too are very nice, but I kind of like this one and I can't get enough of this. The design and the build of the Samsung Galaxy A54 is one of my favorite. It feels very comfortable in the hand. I like the fact that the sides are not so flat, so it's very, very comfortable in the hand. Looking at the camera design at the back, it looks very simplistic. This actually looks like what they have for the flagship devices. So if you decide to pick one of these up, somebody might even mistaken this for the Samsung Galaxy S23 series. It looks good, it feels good in the hand. Design is one of the top selling feature of the Samsung Galaxy A54. My second favorite feature of this device is definitely going to be the brightness of the screen. Samsung gave us 1000 nits brightness for this display. And what that means is that if you find yourself outside or anywhere at all, this device is going to be bright enough for you to see what's on the screen. It's actually really cool. For mid-range devices, it's actually very important to be able to see what you're doing anywhere that you find yourself. And 1000 nits of brightness is enough to see anything on your screen. So the brightness of this device is one of my favorite features. And if you use this in comparison to most mid-range devices, outside you see 1000 nits of brightness is very, very admirable in a mid-range device. So the brightness is definitely my second favorite feature of this. Let's go to the third. My third favorite feature of this is definitely going to be the IP rating. We get an IP67 dust and waterproof. What this means is that if you find yourself outside whilst it rains or anything like that, this will be cool. And if it drops in water, 1 meter deep water for about 30 minutes, this is also going to be fine. So if you find yourself working out, splashes or anything like that, this device is definitely going to survive. It's very nice to have IP ratings for mid-range devices. It actually gives you confidence knowing that if you're outside and any splash or anything, you're not going to break your device. So I like the fact that we have an IP67 dust and waterproof resistance on this guy. So that is really cool too. Now my fourth favorite feature of this is going to be the fingerprint sensor. If I did this video a week ago, this would have definitely gone to the bad parts of this device because the animation on this one made it look very, very slow. So my favorite feature of this has to be the fingerprint sensor now, because if you turn off the animations that comes with the fingerprint sensor on the display, it's actually very fast. Getting into your device feels very fast now in comparison to with the animations on. So what you have to do is that go into your settings, find the fingerprint settings and turn off the animation to make it very easy for you to get into your device very swift and quickly. So how easy it is to enter my device because of the fast, secure, amazing fingerprint sensor found on the display is my fourth favorite feature of the Samsung Galaxy A54. Now the last but not the least on today's list for my favorite features is definitely going to be the cameras. The cameras on the Samsung Galaxy A54 to me does really well. Being a mid-range device, trust me, most people might not be able to tell the difference between this and a flagship device. The cameras on here are very good, especially when it comes to the dynamic range for me. The pictures came out very nice. The colors look very natural. They are not oversaturated or anything like that. So that is really good. And also for the videos, the stabilization on this was actually very, very impressive. So for the cameras on the Samsung Galaxy A54, I must say I really, really like them. If you decide to pick one of these out because of the cameras, you're definitely going to enjoy them. Now we get to my not so favorite features of this device. The first one is definitely going to be the price. This is actually going for about 5,000 to 6,000 Ghana cedi. And for a mid-range device, the Samsung Galaxy A54 to me is kind of overpriced, because the first time I got my A51 about a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I actually bought it for 1,800. So thinking about the fact that this has tripled in price in like 3 years, 6,000 Ghana cedi for a mid-range device, this is actually very, very crazy. But one good thing about Samsung devices is that in a couple of months, this is definitely going to drop in price. So if you want to wait for a couple of weeks more or months, you're definitely going to be picking this up for a very, very good price that I can say then it's good for the price. But right now for 6,000 Ghana cedi, I think this is a little bit too expensive for what it is. My next not so favorite feature on this is going to be the screen. The surprise? Yeah, the screen. If you take a look, this is an AMOLED screen. This is a 120Hz screen. It's cool and all, but if you compare it to other devices in this price range, even for instance, if you compare it to the Samsung Galaxy A34, the AMOLED display found on this is not the richest that I've seen. I did also see a couple of YouTubers complain comparing this to even the A53. The A53 looked way better in comparison to the AMOLED display that we have on the Samsung Galaxy A54. And this is something you might not see if you're just holding the Samsung Galaxy A54. If you have any of those devices around, maybe the A53 from last year or even this year's A34, compare it to the screens on here and you will see those phones are cheaper and they look way better in comparison to the Samsung Galaxy A54. I don't know what happened to Samsung's display this year for the A54, but definitely you can see the difference if you're comparing it to other devices. For an AMOLED technology, this is not the best that I have seen. The colors weren't as vibrant as I expect from AMOLED displays. So yes, the screen quality wasn't my favorite and you should definitely know about that. The next is going to be the performance. This also, the Exynos chipset that was found in here. For instance, if you're just using this, you might not see the difference. If you even compare it to the Samsung Galaxy A34 also, which is almost half the price, if you compare it to this, the chipset on here didn't perform so much. Even the Geekbench scores says the same. It's not so far off in comparison to the Samsung Galaxy A34. And when playing extensive games, I could even get the highest FPS for those games. So the Samsung Galaxy A54's chipset on here wasn't the most powerful that I've seen in comparison to even the Samsung Galaxy A34. So in that case, I don't think the performance of this impressed me so much. So you should definitely know about that too. The Samsung Galaxy A54 wasn't the best performance that I was expecting. For the next not so favorite feature about this is the fact that even at 6,000 Ghana cedi, you don't get a charger in the box. And this actually supports 25 watts of super fast charging, but you don't get that in the box. And I'm sure if you're going to pick one of the chargers up, you might end up spending an extra 300 or 400 Ghana cedi to get a charger, which will definitely ramp up the price to about 6,500. So not having the charger in the box is definitely a disadvantage to me. The last but not the least is definitely a niche feature. This has to do with the slow shutter speed when it comes to the cameras. Sometimes when you're taking pictures on this device, the shutter on this one actually delays a little bit, which means you can even end up missing that important moment that you want to capture. So the shutter on the camera wasn't the fastest that I've seen, and it's definitely something that you will notice if you decide to pick one of these up sometimes when taking pictures. So all in all, these are my favorite features and not so favorite features of the Samsung Galaxy A54. Let me know if I missed anything, and let me know if you agree with all the points that I made in this video in the comment section down below. And as usual, if you're new to this channel, subscribe because I'm going to be bringing you more videos like this. Thank you for spending time with me. Stay liquid, and I'll see you in my next upload. Peace. I'm out.